like super.
Isn't
that
it
cool?
That, yeah.
But you can hear me breathe.
All right, ladies.
Oh, that's definitely going in the outtakes.
That one.
What can you hear you do?
Breathe. Because I'm a mouth breather. We haven't even taken a shot yet.
I can't do the cackle laugh because then it's too loud.
For yourself.
Yeah.
Did Bob sing mouth breather?
No.
Oh.
No, he just that's
I'll drop
that's
a
your.
remix later.
He did some anime.
Welcome to the Shots from the Winchester podcast presented by Greencastle. My name is Lindsay. Welcome. We have Amy Sanchez with us today. Hello, Amy.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
So because we're in the Winchester, we have to do a shot. So what would you like to do a shot of?
Tequila.
All right, bartender. Erica, 2 shots of tequila, please. That's 1 each, to be clear. I haven't done a shot of tequila in, like 10 years, I think. So this is going to be.
I was at a wedding last weekend, so I'm still recovering.
Okay. Well, we're in this together.
Cheers.
Cheers to Greencastle.
Greencastle.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
That hits you. Honestly, though, that's pretty good. That's
Yeah,
pretty-
it's the rocks.
Your face.
Got some hair on her chest now.
All right. Well, Amy, what do you do at Greencastle? What's your job here?
So I am a change practitioner, which means I work in change management, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah? What do you love about it?
I love that it's like the people side of change. So you're creating organizational change through modifying individual behaviors, and I just think it's like really awesome.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very important, too. Like
Yeah, for
everybody here has a very important role in what they do with the clients, and that's a really important one. So how did you end up at Greencastle? And to remind everybody, we're 100% veteran owned and operated. So everybody here is currently serving or has served. So what did you do prior to this? What was your military career like? Take us through that.
Yeah, for sure. So I graduated from West Point in 2014. And then I commissioned as a military police officer, which is awesome. It was my first choice. Went to Fort Campbell, was stationed there for a little bit. Went to Fort Leonard Wood for training, and then was stationed at Fort Carson, where I served as a company commander. Best job ever. And then my husband and I had kind of decided, he had gotten out before me. We'd kind of decided, like, looking at starting a family and everything, it was time to kind of like transition out of the military. So one of my friends who graduated from West Point as well had worked here previously, Josh Ifey, and he was like, Amy, like, you're moving back in the area. You have to check out this company. It's amazing. So I started doing research, and I was like, okay, this is kind of too good to be true. And there is the DoD Skill Bridge that Greencastle has, and the Stronghold Fellowship. And I applied to it after looking into it, went through the process, got accepted, and was an intern here for 3 months before getting extended an offer. And like the internship was by far like the best opportunity ever. Greencastle paid for my PMP, my change management certification, Lean Six Sigma Green Belt, my Scrum certification, like really invested in me as an intern. And it really just like taught me a lot about the company and like how much they care about people and veterans. And when I got extended the offer, I was like, this is a no-brainer. Like, there's nowhere else I want to be.
Right.
Yeah.
And we have a bar.
Yeah. And I just took shots at work. So
Yeah, right. So if you want to check any of the careers out, greencastleconsulting.com is where you can go for that. So that's really cool. So you went to West Point. Can you tell me what that was like? I think that, even when you're in the military and you're commissioned officer, those who haven't gone to West Point feel like it's this like fantastical thing. So like, tell me your experience at West Point before we get into the other stuff.
yeah, so I didn't even know what West Point was, to be honest. I was in high school and was looking at a bunch of different colleges. I really wanted to play field hockey at a school. And my dad and my mom had taken me and my 3 brothers. So I have 3 brothers. I'm the only girl. And they took us to West Point because my dad was working outside of New York City. And they said, hey, like, boys, check out this academy. And, you know, it wasn't really on my radar at all, but we went through this whole tour, and I was just, like, it just felt right for me. And I told my parents, I was like, I really want to go to this school. And, like, they were like, what? Like, we did not expect you to be the one that wanted to, like, do this. But I just kind of, like, fell in love with it and got accepted, went to West Point. It was, like, the best, worst experience ever because it is not, like, your standard college experience by any means. But I got an incredible education, and I got to serve my country, which was my goal. And I met my husband there. I made some of my, like, best friends in the world there. And I got to travel, and I just learned so much about myself. And it was, like, an incredible opportunity and honestly, like, one of the biggest blessings of my life.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And you met your husband there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So did you graduate together?
We did. Yeah.
Okay.
So we started dating our junior year.
Uh-huh.
And it was just from there on meant to be.
And did you go to the same duty station at first, or like what?
Yes.
Okay, well that's good.
Yeah. So we both
good.
got Fort Campbell, the 101st. Loved it there. He deployed out of there, and he got out at the end of his time at Fort Campbell, and then moved with me to Fort Carson, where I took company command. So
Okay.
yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
So then, kind of transitioning into what you're doing now, little birdie told me that you're building your own house.
Yes.
So I would love to hear all about that.
Yeah.
Obviously plug your social media for that. What's the account that people can follow if they want to follow along on your journey here?
Yeah, so we're doing like YouTube videos for family and friends to follow along on us building our house. It's called Let's Build a House on YouTube, Let's with an apostrophe S. And it's just kind of like episodes of like how, you know, we applied for our permit and like the journey of like digging our hole and kind of like walking through all of that because there's so many family and friends that want to be like kept up to date. So yeah, feel free to check that out and follow along on our journey.
So what has that been like? Because I know I live in an old house, and I know the pains of just doing like renovations that are on a very small scale.
Yeah.
I really can't imagine just like you're building your house. Like
Yeah.
you're doing it.
So I think the coolest part about this whole thing is that like my husband and my father-in-law, Smitty, we call him Smitty, they're physically building it. So Smitty has been building custom homes in the area for like 30 plus years, and he's built like over 1,000 homes. And when we were looking at this area, we were looking at houses, and all of them needed like very large renovations, and it wasn't really what we were looking for. And Smitty was just like, hey guys, like, let's build a house. You know what I mean? Like, I got you. So Matt quit his job, and he is working every single day with my father-in-law, Smitty, and they are building the house together. And it's really cool because Matt is Smitty's only son. Matt has 3 sisters. I have 3 brothers. And like seeing them together and seeing Smitty with like all of his knowledge share all of it with Matt, it's like really incredible to witness.
I can't even imagine. Where are you in the process right now? Like what have you just done? Yeah, and then looking forward, what are the next steps? Like where are you going after what you've just done?
Yes. So we were in the permitting process for a very long time, pulling our hair out. Finally got a permit in May. So we dug our hole May, June. We're in July now. We poured the concrete for the basement, and we just this morning they poured the concrete for our foundation walls. We use something called ICF, which is like styrofoam that you fill with concrete for the walls instead of them actually using like the blocks and laying the blocks and everything. It's so labor intensive, and there's only really 2 of them. So they poured the concrete for the ICF walls this morning, which is really exciting. I was getting a ton of videos, and it was just really cool. And then our next steps are like laying the steel and starting to frame. So it's going up.
So when is the projected finish date? Is there one, or is it
Yeah, it's kind of hard to like really put something on the wall because right now, as everyone knows, like lead times are crazy. Lumber prices are insane. Like everything going on with inflation right now, it's just tough. But our like goal would be to have a 4th of July party at the house next year.
Awesome.
Yes.
That's really cool. So what have the biggest challenges been so far, do you think? Like, obviously, you know, your husband's doing that full time. So I'd imagine that your time spent together is probably, you're either there doing that stuff or, you know, you're apart. So like, what are some of the big challenges like that you've kind of encountered?
I think the biggest challenges, at least with the construction, was like the permitting process. And then we had like a ton of groundwater in our hole that we couldn't anticipate. Also, I would say like just our lack of knowledge, like we're constantly learning, is also kind of like challenging, but we also have Smitty. So like he's seen all of this stuff before and he gives us like, okay, this is what happened. We can do like A, B, or C. So having him as like our sensei has been an incredible like blessing. We wouldn't be able to do it without him, honestly. But like every day I just like, we're asking very like simple questions, or he's explaining why we're doing this. Like with the groundwater, we had to lay down ballast. You know what I mean? I didn't even know what that was. It's like a bunch of rocks that you put at the bottom of the hole. And we have this pump that's pumping out groundwater. And like, I didn't know any of that, but like he's been like our sensei. So it's challenging in a sense that like we have no idea what's going on, but we also have him who's like guiding us every step of the way.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's super helpful. I
Yeah.
can't imagine doing that like no help or no sensei.
Yeah, our sensei.
So are you really excited to get to the point where you can just start like picking out the stuff for inside? I feel like
Yeah.
that's like the most fun. Is like,
Yeah.
I want this kind of floor and this kind of, yeah.
And a cool thing about our floor is like when we were in the permitting process, like we were really like kind of at a standstill in a holding pattern. Matt and Smitty purchased a sawmill. So like a lot of the lumber that we took off of the land were actually turning into our wood floors. So they've been like cutting up the wood, and we're going to have that in our home, which is cool.
That's going to be so nice.
Yeah.
So what style home is it? Like, are you building it in a certain style? I know there's like, you know, farmhouse style. There's like, you know, Tudor style. I'm trying to like think off the top of my head. Like,
sure.
what style are you going with?
It's a modern farmhouse, but like I'm leaning more towards the modern side. Like I like farmhouse vibe, but that's not necessarily my aesthetic. So it's more just like more of the modern contemporary side of the modern farmhouse.
Love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I'll have to see pictures.
Yeah, for sure.
So aside from all of the house stuff, you're also into fitness and
Yes.
doing.
So is she, by the way. National championship. Like, let's not underrate that.
But this is about you. So you are training for a marathon, right? And you've
Yes.
done this. You've done other marathons, right?
Yeah,
So
I've done one other marathon.
talk about your decision to start training for a marathon now in the midst of, hey, I'm building a house. Hey, I have this really great job, but it's also demanding, you know,
yeah.
like.
Yeah. So leaving the military left like this, kind of like this hole. And I know everyone in this room knows kind of like what that transition is like. And I really felt kind of like uncentered and unfocused. So I really wanted to put like a mark on the wall for myself physically, for like a goal to kind of like train towards and achieve. So we did the Broad Street Run in Philly, which was 10 miles. We did it with, Matt and I did it with my two brothers, Nikki and Alex. They're twins. And after that, it was just like so fun, and we'd all been like working towards it together, that I asked my brothers if they wanted to train for a marathon together. And they're not local, so we like text about it, but near our hometown in Syracuse, New York. So there's a big marathon in October there. So me, Nikki, Alex, and my older brother Jerry are training for the marathon in Syracuse.
And how many have you done before this?
So I've only done one marathon before this, but I've always really been into running. And like after my first marathon, I was like, I'm never doing that again. Like that was brutal. I felt like my legs were beaten by sledgehammers. But having like that focus and having something to like train towards and feel motivated for after leaving the military has like really like given me a new sense of like purpose in my fitness journey. So yeah, I've really been enjoying it.
That's really awesome. And what's the date of that marathon again? You said October
16th.
October 16th in
Yes.
Syracuse. So we'll have to make sure that we are cheering you on.
Thank
That's
you.
very impressive. I mean,
Thank you.
26.2 miles is nothing to sneeze about.
Yeah.
You know, the pain that comes along with that, the feet stuff, all
yeah, I
the
know.
training. So how do you make time for training? Like, are you like, you know, training at a certain time of day, or how do you make time and all this?
Yeah, so the weekends are really what's like where I put my long runs. During the week, it's not too crazy. I can do it in the morning. I can do it after work. And I don't have kids. Like, we don't have kids yet, right? So, like, it's much harder for people with children. But, yeah, so that's kind of how I just focus it on the weekends.
It takes a lot of dedication, honestly. Like, I commend you, because it's not like you're just like coming to work every day and then going home and, you work 8 hours, clock in, clock out kind of thing. Like, we know how this job is. It's
Right.
kind of all over the place, plus the house. So I really commend you, because that takes a lot of dedication and sacrifice.
Thank you.
So, and you did mention, last little fun fact here for everybody, you like music.
I love music.
You gave us a little sample before we started here, but you like hip hop, right?
Yes.
Okay, who? Like, are we talking current hip hop, 90s, 2000s?
It's kind of off my vibe. So I know people are going to say, probably going to judge me for this, but I love like Drake, right? So like Drake's the GOAT. I love, I'm also going to get hate for this, but Kanye West. I've been listening to Pusha T's new album. It's amazing. Kendrick Lamar just dropped a new album. It's really good. J. Cole, he's incredible. He's like poetic with his lyrics. Like, my husband and I are always listening to music. Like, if people walk by the desk and I have my headphones in, like, I'm jamming. Like, I'm always listening to music 24/7.
So you're that meme that says, like, on my way to my 9-to-5 job, and you're listening to like hardcore hip hop.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
I love that. I'm more into like the 90s and early 2000s. That was when I was like, in high school.
Yeah.
Not to date myself, but so I love like Biggie and Tupac and like the classics and stuff. But I also respect
Nas.
like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, of course. But I respect like the new, like, I know there's been some turmoil about Drake's new album, and people are like, I don't know if I like it or not, kind of thing. But yeah, some of those that you mentioned, like, yeah, Kanye, talented, a little crazy, but talented.
I know. It's tough. It's hard.
Yeah.
He struggles with mental illness, and
Yeah.
I'm like very empathetic to that. So
Totally.
it's just, I don't know. He is super creative and like super talented.
Super creative, and even his like early stuff, that's like gold. I mean, some
Yeah.
of that stuff that he did,
Yes.
like when he had his mouth wired shut and he was rapping
Through
like,
the wire.
That is
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm glad you knew that.
Yeah.
But you also have other musicians that you like. I
Yes.
know you'd mentioned your guilty pleasures.
Yes. And I don't even feel like they should be guilty, but like Paramore and Coldplay are amazing. Totally different vibes, but like Paramore old, I know people like view them through like their old stuff, but like their new stuff is really good too. And Coldplay, absolutely love Coldplay. We just went to their concert in Philadelphia June 8th. It was amazing. Love them. Yes.
That's cool. You didn't say Nickelback. That would have been like
God. Or like
that would have
Hoobastank.
Yeah, people would have shut the podcast off and like, we don't want to listen anymore. Yeah, I know. But hey, there are people out there who like Nickelback. So, well, Amy, it's been really, really great getting to know you. Thank you for your time. I think this was really fun. Let's do it again sometime.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Yeah. And pop up. Oh, that's not creepy.
Do like an elevator where she's like down.
All right.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, and what?
Kevin's coming.
Yeah, let's wait
That's all
until he does the click of that.
Oh, pause.
The Lord of the PMP has entered the building.
We actually-
They look natural.
I perch because I don't
No,
like
Feel
there's nothing.
perch.
Yes. There's nothing natural about the weirdo in the headphones behind you.